if they're giving files to journalists that potentially data about users as well as data about individuals.
My understanding
so
is
I
that
didn't
they
ask
didn't
a
ask
question. I didn't ask.
It's yet another instance where like Elon Musk is just behaving in this insane manner. Who cares? Yeah, give this guy access to everything. That's crazy. Here is another person who has changed and another person who hasn't. Here is Mehdi Hassan ripping into Matt Taibbi.
The world's most powerful investment bank is a great vampire squid wrapped around the face of humanity, relentlessly jamming its blood funnel into anything that smells like money. That was how, in 2009, Rolling Stone journalist Matt Taibbi famously began The Great American Bubble Machine, his 10,000-word expose on Goldman Sachs and its considerable economic influence at the height of the Great Recession. The vampire squid was an indelible image, and it was textbook Matt Taibbi. If you were like me back then, you loved reading his blistering takedowns of America's worst villains. In 15 years at Rolling Stone and in occasional NBC and MSNBC appearances, Taibbi won lots of fans and awards for skewering anyone who shafted the little guy from K Street to Wall Street. But if you listen to him these days, he's telling a different story.
I spent 10 years covering the aftermath of the 2008 financial crisis. That was obviously a very serious issue, but this Twitter file story and what we're looking at now and what we're investigating now, I don't think there's any comparison. This is by far the most serious thing that I've ever looked at, and it's certainly the most grave story that I've ever worked on personally.
Yes, the Twitter files, quote unquote, 19 releases of select internal Twitter documents provided to Taibbi and other reporters and activists after the social media site was acquired by tech billionaire Elon Musk, remember him? Which made seemingly explosive claims about the politicized blocking of the Hunter Biden story, as well as allegations that Twitter shadow banned conservative accounts without cause. According to Musk and Taibbi and his reporting colleagues and the Republican House majority, those files show Twitter colluding behind the scenes with feds, NGOs, and yes, Democrats to silence critics. A new woke McCarthyism through digital censorship.
Here's what happened to Matt Taibbi at the hearing.
Information. Society of Professional Journalists Code of Ethics asserts that journalists should avoid political activities that can compromise integrity or credibility.
Oh, it was Debbie Wasserman Schultz. Ugh, yuck, yikes. Guys, trigger warning that's coming too late, but Debbie Wasserman Schultz.
Being a Republican witness today certainly casts a cloud over your objectivity. But a deeper concern that I have relates to the ethics of how journalists receive and present certain information. Journalists should avoid accepting spoon-fed, cherry-picked information if it's likely to be slanted, incomplete, or designed to reach.
Why is there a photo of Joe Rogan behind her? What the is going on in Congress, dude? They're having too much fun.
Foregone, easily disputed, or invalid conclusion. Would you agree with that?
I think it depends.
Really? You wouldn't agree that a journalist should avoid spoon-fed, cherry-picked information if it's likely to be slanted, incomplete, or designed to reach a foregone, easily disputed, or invalid conclusion?
Congresswoman, I've done probably a dozen stories involving whistleblowers. Every reported story that I've ever done across 3 decades involves sources who have motives. Every time you do a story, you're making a balancing test between the public interest.
Reclaiming my time. Thank you very much. Okay. I ask you this because before you became Elon Musk's hand-picked journalist, and pardon the oxymoron.
The reality is Matt Taibbi did become a mouthpiece for a billionaire and his like $44 billion purchased corporation, which is really, really sad. Oh, people who have never heard Matt Taibbi speak going, wow, he sounds like he's crying. Yes, Matt Taibbi does have insane vocal fry.
You stated this on Joe Rogan's podcast about being spoon-fed.
Matt Taibbi acted like he was doing like, cutting-edge journalism with the Twitter files when the Twitter files itself didn't show anything.
Information, and I quote, I think that's true of any kind of journalism, and you'll see it behind me here. I think that's true of any kind of journalism. Once you start getting handed things, then you've lost. They have you at that point, and you got to get out of that habit. You just can't cross that line. Do you still believe what you told Mr. Rogan? Yes or no? Yes or no?
Yes.
Good. Now, you crossed that line with the Twitter files.
No.
Elon Musk, it's my time. Please do not interrupt. Elon Musk spoon-fed you his cherry-picked information, which you must have suspected promotes a slanted viewpoint, or at the very least generates another right-wing conspiracy theory. You violated your own standard.
I mean, he did. Anyone that says like he didn't is ridiculous. This is characteristic of a type of quietly pro-capitalist guy who shields powerful bosses from criticism, often using faux class politics. Pose about PMCs being deranged, but actually all billionaires deserve that same hostility from the press, even ones in Matt's replies. The seamless way people transition from hating Trump to hating Musk has been amazing to watch. In 10 years, we'll have a Photoshop compilation with like 6 different faces on it. Yeah, dude. You shouldn't hate Donald Trump and you shouldn't hate Elon Musk. You're right. Yeah, it's the PMCs that are at fault. You can hate the PMCs and also turn around and hate Elon Musk and Donald Trump, who are basically the lords and the masters of the PMCs. The PMCs are the professional managerial class gets hatred because they are working at the behest of these corporate overlords. Holy dude.
So you would believe that you have probably millions of emails and documents, right? That's correct, would you say?
I don't, millions.
No, I think the number's less
too high.
Okay, 100,000?
Probably closer.
Probably, yeah.
Probably close to 100,000 that both of you are saying. Yet in the Twitter files, Mr. Taibbi, you've produced only 338 of those 100,000 emails. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah.
Have you given all of the access to what you were given by your source to this committee?
No, and I would never do that.
Okay. I didn't ask if you were given the committee, the individuals, but all of the files? No, you have not?
No.
So what we're getting is your dissemination, your decision as to what was important and not important in that, correct?
Which is true in every news story.
In every story. But you have files that you say you are sharing, but those files are just a smaller period of the files. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes? Okay, thank you. And the FTC investigation of Twitter, you knew that they were investigating Twitter before the time period that Mr. Musk came on?
I was aware of it, yes.
And the FTC was concerned with user data being hacked or used? Is that correct, that they didn't have enough checks and balances on that data?
Well, I wasn't privy to that part.
Have you seen the consent decree?
No, I have not.
Okay, well, the consent decree is concerned with user data, which would be probably the reason that they were concerned if they're giving files to journalists that potentially data about users as well as data about individuals and employees would be given to them.
My understanding
so
is
I
that
didn't
they
ask a question. I didn't ask.
This is a profoundly important part of this investigation, or this is the main point of this is probably one of the major points that is the reason why Matt Taibbi is there to begin with. Like, he was like, oh, they're just trying to bully me and try to bully Elon Musk because I'm doing such great journalism for Twitter or whatever the like. No, dude, like, you have this corrupt billionaire asshole who has no respect for the rule of law, no understanding of it, and no interest in like even following the legal counsel's advice on any particular matter. Like, yeah, of course Congress is going to ask if like one of the major social media platforms now owned by a singular individual gave access to like private information and private conversations to some random right-wing journalist who's trying to do promo for the platform itself. That's crazy.
You a question, sir. Okay.
Like, this motherfucker, like, does he not realize? I mean, I guess it's yet another instance. Again, it's yet another instance where like Elon Musk is just behaving in this insane manner, like the petulant, petty little tyrant child he is, where he's just like, I don't give a about the law. Like, who cares? Yeah, give this guy access to everything. That's crazy. You can't do that. Like, you can't do that. The only thing I still respect about Matt Taibbi is that he's still doing that hairstyle that kind of like you never really see anymore. When you do the horseshoe, like, you're like very clearly bald and you still keep, you still keep the side hair. Like, you're just like, F it, YOLO, I'm bald and I want everyone to know I'm bald. I really respect that. People don't do that anymore, dude. A lot of people don't do that.
You talk a lot about the Election Integrity Project in the Twitter files, which Stanford and the University of Washington founded to monitor attacks on our elections. And you say some stuff about them that a lot of your critics say is not true, and that affects your credibility. You said the EIP was founded in response to the government dropping its proposal for a disinformation government. Well, there you are. We're quoting you on screen. It wasn't. It was formed 2 years earlier. You suggest it was government funded, even though during the 2020 election that you're covering, it wasn't. You say they labeled 22 million tweets as misinformation in the run-up to the 2020 vote. They didn't. They flagged 3,000 election misinformation tweets for labeling, so you were only 21,997,000 off. And you also claim the EIP was, let me finish the question, you can come back in. You also claim the EIP was partnered with the government Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Agency, CISA, to censor Twitter, but you mix up CISA, CISA, a Homeland Security Agency, with the Center for Internet Security, the CIS, which is a non-profit. In fact, you added an A to CIS. I think people can see it there in brackets to make that false claim. It's just error after error, Matt, on just this one topic.
But the other ones aren't.
The
22 million number came from their own report.
Yeah, where did it came from? A report in March. Do you know what the 22 million number is, Matt? Can you tell me? Because we checked. 22 million is the number of tweets about election misinformation that they just mapped. How many tweets were they? The ones they actually flagged to Twitter before the election, 22 million came after the election. It wasn't in the run-up. They flagged 3,000. So you were off by 21,997,000. It's another error.
They said a lot of things. I stand by my story.
You stand by what story? You stand by 22 million were flagged in the run-up to the election, even though that number came in March 2021, which was after the election.
No, this came in their report after the election.
Which was about some total of tweets that they counted on the election. What they flagged to Twitter was 2,980 tweets, I believe. So that's nowhere near 22 million.
Come on.
Come on, what? You got something wrong. You got CISO wrong. Why did you add A? Okay, Matt, why did you add A in square brackets? Do you understand why people worry about...
I actually thought that.
And why didn't you fix it? I just checked the tweet before I came on air. It's been 3 weeks since it was flagged to you. Why not fix it? Do you not have editors at the racket?
I didn't realize that until now.
Okay, and what about the date? You got the date wrong when it was founded. You said it was founded in response to the Disinformation Board. That was last year.
Well, because Stamos is saying in the video that we were sort of created to fill the gaps.
No, that's not what you say in the tweet. That's not what you say in the tweet.
The SIO was created in 2018.
No. You say, this is what you say, that the EIP was created after the public uproar paused the Disinformation Board. That's wrong. You need to correct that as well, don't you?
After the...
That's what your words. You say, to quote you, after public uproar paused the Orwellian Disinformation Governance Board, Stanford created the EIP. That's wrong.
Well, that's what they say.
You don't need sources, Matt. You could check the EIP website. It says it was created in 2020.
Well, that's the date that I just said.
And the Disinformation Board was 2022.
Okay. All right. Well, then that is an error.
Yeah, X is going to get mad at you for watching a murder on live stream. Yeah, it's true.